Graves jungle being one of the best junglers right now. A really strong early game, a lot of aggression, and a really good duelist to fight for those Skylarcrabs. And Alistair really being one of the key figures for the team. And then we just kind of see a really standard team fight come out from Saints Gaming. It doesn't look like they're going to try to win that split push. Renekton's really good, but he's not much of a split pusher. But it really seems that they just have really good bruiser fighters. They just want to get to that mid phase and fight. And once again, Blin's got that Kasai, highest damage from the last game. One of the strongest AD carries in the game. Really unlocks her potential as she unlocks those items.
Great, yeah, absolutely. So, again, we did see last game when it happened. Unfortunately, it wasn't caught on stream, but it's really important to note that Saints Gaming was at a huge, huge deficit in the later stages of the game. They turned things around with one massive team fight, the classic, traditional, old-school team fight. Alistair comes in with the headbutt pulverize. You had Malphite following up, carrying the Orianna ball into the fight, and just everything was a downhill fight from there for high performance, and that was the absolute turning point. We might see the same thing here. They do have Kasai, they do have Morgana, they've got Orianna yet again, and Renekton can be that ball carrier. Maybe not quite as effectively as a Malphite would be, but still a very, very good ball carrier nonetheless with those two dashes.
Yeah, with Saints Gaming actually falling behind in the early game of the last game, do you think that now that they don't have those combo pieces, that they'll be able to hold on and still win the game? Or do you think that they needed that kind of combo to win?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think it's interesting to note that, yeah, of course they needed it during that team fight, but I don't know that they'll necessarily need it in this one. I think it's also important to know that these guys have been playing together for quite a while. They've been on this collegiate team for a while here. The first binding gets landed there. So I think it's just going to be a matter of adapting to the play style, maybe doing a little bit better in the early stages of the game. But, just like every League of Legends game, we're going to have to see how this laning phase plays out as things going pretty standard right now, though possibly an early gank with Graves coming up.
Yeah, Graves having 3 ganks on the last game into the top lane. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Saints Gaming adapts their play style to how many games there was. And we actually see that already. He has more ward, he has more sight. Graves going into the jungle, but it looks like Saints Gaming has already swapped out their jungle route, and they're actually able to dodge that Graves, kind of waste his time. And I think we do have to focus a lot on this top lane. A Riven Renekton, if either of them get ahead, they can really take over the game. And we see the first game coming in.
Yeah, here we go. So despite the fact that there was ward in lane forcing out the flash there, Renekton just absolutely having to leave that lane. 11-4 CS though, so you can see he does have a dominant stronghold there. Unfortunate that he had to burn his flash. He's going to have to be a lot more cautious with his warding coming up here, as he actually does not pick up another ward. So he's going to lane pretty raw right now, and just expecting that one ward's going to be able to do it for him.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a risky play. He's already burned the teleport, so now both of his summoners are down. And we actually see a flash come out from the Orianna. Just a lot of early aggression from high performance, and I think they're really playing towards their strength this game. And then we see the junglers cleaning the river.
Yeah, here we go. So Graves coming out. Veigar's a little bit left behind here, forcing out the flash. Down goes First Blood. Orianna's going to pick that one up for Saints Gaming, and forcing yet another flash for the Alistar. So 2 targets they're going to be focusing on with that burned flash. So a beautiful first kill there, taking a 1,000 gold lead outside of the Dragon Pit.
Yeah, I think Graves was sorted out by the ward there, and the response from Saint Gaming was almost picture perfect. They had the early rotation of the mid, and they even had their bot lane, who was losing, the wave was pushed past their river, and they were still able to be there before Draven and Alistair were able to come up.
Absolutely, and I think Veigar may be reacting a little bit slowly there as well. Not having a river and ward also played a factor in that one. But regardless, at the end of the day, they do come out ahead for Saints Gaming with now a little bit of a CS lead and a kill lead in that mid lane. But everywhere else seems pretty balanced except for the jungle, where you can see a massive CS lead in favor of Trundle there. But here he comes in for a gank, jumping onto Alistar. Nice binding being landed. The Root is going to pick up the kill there for Kasai, and absolutely capitalizing on the fact that Alistar is only level 3 right now. and he didn't have that flash, so beautiful reaction from Trundle.
I want to go back and talk a little bit about what happened with the jungle. So we actually saw Trundle start on his blue side jungle, clear that jungle out, go to his red side. Graves missed the opportunity to catch him in his jungle and saw his blue empty side, went top, got the flash and the teleport out of Renekton, but then was kind of at a loss for what to do. And at this time, Trundle actually went into the red side blue jungle and was able to get so much farm, and then the sight, and then the Riven just going in there.
Yeah, here we go. So Graves and Riven taking on the fight here with Trundle, but Hoyan able to get away from that one. Nice placement on the pillar, able to slow down and place an object between him and the other two, so gets out of there pretty okay. And actually, I would say that's a major advantage now for Saints on that exchange, because that keeps Trundle in the lead. You can see Graves having a really hard time picking up CS, but he's waiting in the wings here, stalking this Trundle, or stalking the Orianna at the same time here, but does have a really serious deficit in his gold count.
Yeah, I actually think Graves right now should go to the jungle, try to catch up on levels, because we already see that he's 2 levels behind. At this point, if Saints Gaming was to force any kind of rotation coming up in the next few minutes, Trundle's going to be able to have his level 6 with Graves only being on level 4 or 5.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. That's huge. You do not want to have Trundle so far in the lead, especially on levels. Gold is one thing, but when you're up and you've got your ultimate ready against a Graves who does not, those team fights are going to go very, very one-sided. And you can see Trundle coming in yet again. No warding down there, but you can see Graves following up right behind. Morgana, though, and Kasai way too far in the background there. Hoyan going ham. Root going down onto Alistar. He's still only level 3 and the level 4 on that Graves. They do pick up Hoyan. Blinn forced to run away from this one. Double kill going down and potentially a 3rd kill as the Morgana does get the binding up, but she's caught way in the wrong position. Orianna coming in. No Veigar to follow up, and she's not going to be able to fight this 1v3. Not a whole lot of damage going out the way of Saints Gaming, but they do lose 3 characters. So now a pretty good turnaround here and a gold lead in favor of High Performance.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit risky and misplayed by Saints Gaming there. We know that the Alistar doesn't have flash, but the Trundle prioritizes the Draven, who keeps running up towards that river. They didn't have sight on Graves, and he was able to come into the fight, sectioning the Trundle off, almost giving him a 3v1 for the first 15 seconds of that fight, allowing High Performance to come away with a big victory.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can see not just that, oh, here we go, another fight at the red buff here. Luckily, Trundle does pick that up, and he hits level 6 from it. This could be huge. He's coming after Hamiro, and oh, but he pops over the wall into the Dragon Pit. He is going to run away from this one, and a huge play there. Unfortunately, Graves did not get the steal. He smites the Scuttle Trap, though, to heal himself up. Doesn't steal the red like he wanted to, but avoids a very, very potentially costly situation.
Yeah. I actually think this is a small victory right there for Saints Gaming. High impact going in there. They got a little bit of vision down in their jungle, but they didn't really get anything else out of that right there. They wasted their time. They didn't get the farm advantage, and they didn't get any objectives. And we actually see the blue buff going right over there to Trundle. So just a little bit of small advantages. Gold lead only at 600 right now in 8 minutes. But I was really impressed with how calm that Graves played that. Yeah,
absolutely. He knew exactly where he needed to get to. I will say I'm even more impressed considering Trundle smited that red, hit level 6, so not only did he have the buff, but he had a huge advantage with unlocking his ultimate in the start of that fight, which he used immediately. And again, yeah, Graves super calmly gets away from that one. But if you do take a look at the gold count here, massive, massive disadvantage in that bottom lane.
Yeah, so a lot of that gold coming in. Yeah, the pillar coming out and the flash coming out right there from Veigar. Getting away. Always good to flash as early as possible so that CP can lock you down. And yeah, the Draven just being able to absolutely pick up those 3 kills. Just 150 bonus gold just from the base 50. But then having all those stacks, just getting almost essentially 4 kills, 4.5 kills from those 3. Just an absolute monster. It's what High Performance is going to have to play around this game. And it's just, they're going to have to play around peeling for him with Alistar and Veigar stun.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So having that much of a gold lead especially coming out of an AD carry, and you can see this is just going to continue to snowball here. Luckily, Blinn did hit level 6, however, Ape Snipe did not. So, but luckily on the other side, neither is the Alistar. So that bottom lane is going to be extremely tense. And one of the problems is now that Trundle's been down there, he lost that team fight. He's going to be so much less likely to want to go down to that bottom lane again, just knowing that, you know, he's creating a bad habit for himself. He went down there, things really went south for him, and now you can see he's stalking around, but he's not as confident. He's not running right in.
No, and I definitely think that's going to be one of the problems. And one of the nice thing about high performance is that they aren't running a tank. Trundle's not going to go into that fight and know who he needs to ult. He's going to have to pick a target, and they're not going to be able to give them resistances that, say, a Maokai or a Mundo would give them. And I actually want to point out something a little bit interesting. On this path, everyone is pretty much running what is the Holy Grail, the Banner of Command. And I think that's really interesting. High performance switching up a bit. Both their mid laner and support running the minion destabilizer, allowing them to essentially kill those super minions as they come out a little bit early.
Yeah, definitely. It's, you know, whatever helps your lane and whatever helps you push. Although one thing that's interesting, typically when you're running that, you kind of find areas where you can push the wave extremely quickly and then get out and gank a lane, but you haven't seen really Vigor doing that at all. He's just been chilling in his lane, farming up, and he has a little bit of an advantage, which for Vigor kind of speaks volumes if he is getting stacks and leading himself into that late game.
Yeah, and there we see that Vigor is already at 61 stacks, 11 minutes into the game. I think he's definitely focused on scaling that AK.
Nice little exchange there up in the top lane in favor of Renekton. But oh, here we go, flash in, Hoyen jumping in there, carrying that ball, and Leonix almost goes down the flash. There we go, flashing forward unnecessarily, but here we go, a second kill potential here for Ramiro running in. Orianna throws out that ball and zones him off, so one kill going in favor of the Saints there for Trundle. So he is picking himself up an even further lead over that jungle. A lot of different contention points on this map right now.
I definitely think that was a really good play. They knew that Vigor didn't have the flash. I'd actually like to see maybe one more gang come in. Vigor not having that teleport is going to lose a lot of that farming potential right now in the mid game. And Orianna is really starting to get strong. Her ultimate, not that long cooldown. It's going to be up before that flashes again.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, I definitely agree. I think, you know, if Trundle's going to pick and choose his spots, bottom lane is a little bit out of the question right now. Too far of an advantage there. They both have both their summoners on both ends. It's going to be a really tough spot to get a gank there, especially with an Alistar for zoning. But you can see Graves, despite the disadvantage, he's being super aggressive, and you got to respect his playstyle.
Yeah, seeing things come down on that red side. Going towards the thing, and we have Orianna actually going to go check it right now. I don't think she's going to be able to spot it before it goes down to the Graves, and Graves just taking it, walking out, being real happy about that, for sure. And I think we also have to look at the top lane right now. They've been battling, and nothing's really happened, which is a little bit of a surprise to me. But right now, Riven actually has the teleport back.
Yeah, here we go. Hoyen getting caught out here inside that Vigor stun, and he does actually walk into the cage. A little bit unfortunate. He might have had an opportunity to get away from that one. But Graves now jumping over the wall. The Morgana bind is going to miss, and he's going to have some weird positioning going on here. Orianna's going to join the fray as well. Now they're just fighting over these golems down at the bottom side here, and everybody kind of dispersing, but a huge, huge point of contention now in this bottom lane. Alistar behind the turret, zoning everybody out, just waiting for an opportunity. Vigor as well, taking out the vision here, so he's going to be stalking around these bushes, and I think they're going to be taking first tower in that bottom lane. Yep, there, down it goes.
Yep, I think they've been doing really good with the rotations right now. High performance is keeping it up, keeping the pressure in both the top and bot lane. Already getting their second turret. I would have actually liked to see the Draven pick up all of that turret gold, just so that they can really snowball him into the monster that he's gonna become.
Yeah, absolutely. The earlier he gets into the late stages of this game, obviously the better for him. So they're going to be pushing him forward as fast as they can. He's already got that Bloodthirster working his way towards more attack speed, some more crit damage. And it's going to be tough. Kasai has not finished a single item yet. She's on her way, but just absolutely way too far behind right now. 96, 133 CS. And in the top lane, which we have not talked a lot about, Renekton's been struggling quite a bit.
Yeah, he's behind a little bit, but Riven, as she scales, especially as she starts to build that cooldown, and having those shields up, she's just going to be really strong. It's going to be really hard to trade against. We also see that Renekton has Thunderlord, where Riven has Aftershock. And this is going to give Riven a little bit more tankiness. It's going to make it really hard to trade against her while she has that up.
Absolutely. And, you know, like I said, not a whole lot of action coming out of that top lane, but we are getting a rotation now. Renekton decides to follow him. I'm not sure if that's the right play because they're already on top of that turret. Draven's going to be doing some damage. Alistar stepping in there, and Morgana's kind of zoned out by the vision wards. Mid lane, there's a fight going down. Top lane, there's a turret getting dropped. Alistar pops his ultimate. I'm not sure if that was necessary, but they do take that turret as a result, so just taking these advantages as they come. 27,000 to 23,000 now in favor of high performance. This is looking a little bit rough, and they're pinging down to get the Rift Herald.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be another close goal as soon as they get this. It's gonna let them push into one of those second turrets, and I think that's a really strong opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. And ooh, here we go. Rift Herald does go down. That's gonna go the way of the Graves, who, by the way, have made a serious comeback against this Trundle. Now just 18 CS behind, which in the jungle is it's a little bit hard to count everyone as an actual CS, depending on which camps they've done, but still very, very good comeback for him. 1-1 and 3 versus 1-2 and 2. And now we're stepping very quickly into the team fight phase with a huge gold lead in favor of high performance.
You got the banner of command coming on Vigard right there, allowing him to push him in. It's going to give a free dragon over to the red team high performance there. And it's actually, I thought they were going to have to go mid and drop down the Scuttler there and push down the mid lane, and then after getting the turret, move to dragon. But it looks like they saw the opportunity there.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of opportunity, Renekton unfortunately getting caught out there as Riven was trying to take an opportunity on him, just pushing down towards that bottom lane. So a lot of things going south here for Saints Gaming, losing that flash on Renekton, who's supposed to be the ball carrier, and the more options he has to close that gap, the better. Unfortunately, burning that flash, and now as we step in to the kind of awkward phase of the game, where Saints Gaming knows exactly what they need to do. They need to come back. They need to pick up a couple of those tier 1 turrets, whereas high performance, they got to choose. Okay, we have Rift Herald. We can make a push. We have Banner of Command coming online as well. We can make a massive push. Which lane do we go for? Where's the opportunity?
Yeah. I think they should honestly use it top lane, and my reasoning for that is that you're going to want Riven to split bot, and you're going to want her to be safe. So if you're going to do that, and then you're going to threaten Baron, you want to get that top turret down just to give you more gold, and then have Riven still have an objective in that bot lane. And that way, your team can also go to the mid lane, and you can support each other. But I'm really interested to see where they're gonna use it. You can already see that half of the cooldown is used, and still no real positions. People are shoving in waves. We see a large wave coming, and red buff actually going over to Trundle right now. I think that's a little bit of loss, but the AD carry has to pick up that top lane before the real push starts to come in. And we see Graves, the final member, coming to join the team up.
Well, here we go. It's going to be a push towards the mid lane. Taking kind of some slight advice from you. They are going to leave Riven in that bottom lane to split push that side. Vigor Cage comes out. You can see a little bit of poke damage being done to the turret. Just a couple of shots being taken there. One shot coming out from Draven. And actually, Harimo gets caught out in the jungle here by the Renekton. He's trying to get that stun off, but in comes the Riven. Massive stun goes down. Down goes Renekton, and now the chase is on. Trundle trying to get away from this one. Morgana gets caught out by the Alistar. The huge chase down. Stun goes down as well. Is Draven going to have enough damage to pick this one up? No. She does get away from that one, but the flash over the wall from both characters. Riven, Draven doing a ton of damage in this one. Jumping forward, Morgana goes down, Draven goes down. Draven, the huge carry. Gabriel picks up another kill onto the 80 carry. Now it's just Oyen left to try to defend. I don't think that's going to work out too well for him, but kind of caught in a weird place here. Who's going to tank up this turret? Graves slides over that wall, and now they're going to have this clear path down the mid lane to take that tier 2 turret, or actually they're going to head bot.
Yeah, I think Saints Gaming was a little overzealous with that fight. The Renekton going in on the Graves lane, you know that Riven is bot lane. Renekton's not going to be able to stay on top of it. And not only with that, We actually see Saints Gaming, though, they pushed up a lot of the waves. They only lost this one turret here. They're going to be able to kill the rest of it. And I think the next objective is going to be the Barons. You see that the Scuttlecraft is up around there. They already have a team ward out front. And High Performance has all the vision, and all the members of Saints Gaming right now are on that buy side playing it out.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, I do kind of want to agree with you here a little bit that the clear objective might be Baron right now, and you can see everybody rotating up there, but they still have 2 tier 2 turrets left that they can absolutely take. And Baron, you know, I think they can take it down extremely quickly. They do have a ton of damage coming out of that Draven right now, but the problem is there's still opportunities for very quick rotations coming out of Saints Gaming, so they got to be very cautious with whatever objective they choose to take. It was just really lucky that team fight went so far in favor for High Performance.
Yeah, for sure. They're going to be able to use a lot of that pressure here. We already see Saints Gaming going in there as the whole squad, just getting down vision, and they're getting pushed back in both the top and the mid waves already, and they're already losing all of that vision that they were able to place down. And that's what this game is going to be about. It's going to be about that vision control right now at Baron. They're going to deny vision, bait Baron, do Baron, rotate to these 2 towers, and just start to strangle the goal, start to strangle and grow that gold lead for themselves.
You know, I will say, though, despite having a 4,000 gold lead extremely early in this game, we've been floating around maybe 8 to 10 minutes where they did have that 4,000 gold lead, and it hasn't progressed quite as quickly. They're about 5,500 now, so they're very slow. You're right. It is more like a stranglehold that they're putting on these guys with that slow creeping lead, slowly building that lead as much as they can. But really, it did boil down to that team fight. I think Saints were making some progression back, but just that one absolutely devastating team fight going so far south for them is what's causing the position they're in now.
Yeah, I would even say that High Performance is playing very well, but they're not looking for the opportunities. They're looking to get the vision, they're looking to get the objective, and then they're waiting for mistakes from Saints Gaming. And then they capitalize, and when they capitalize, they're capitalizing hard. They're already at 7k gold lead. They've gained 3k from that last fight alone, as well as the turret, and they have vision control. So they're really just playing not to make mistakes and wait for those opportunities to show. Absolutely.
And you can see they're trying to open the door for themselves here on High Performance. They use that banner command. Ooh, nice little root goes down there. Trundle Pillar goes up as well. Ooh, big damage. It's Graves going to go down over the wall. Just barely. One more shot from Kasai would have procced that 4 hit and would have taken down that kill, but no good there. Another bite goes down onto Draven, the perfect target, but just not enough damage following up there. Unfortunately, we don't have the Orianna ultimate online. Nice damage going down there onto Trundle as well. Some massive exchanges. And I was just about to mention, Graves puts himself so far forward. He does have the right items to do it, but not that far forward. Here we go, though. Spell immunity going down onto Orianna, just not enough. Gets herself picked off on that stun wall from Vigor, and tier 2 mid lane goes down as well as Orianna. It's going to be extremely difficult to hold this next push coming in.
Yeah, definitely something communication, and the ultimate, or the W just coming down from Vigor doing so much damage.
Yeah, here we go. Another kill going down onto the Renekton, and Vigor just placing these stun walls so effectively. Yet another kill goes down in favor of Alistar this time, and they're just waiting for that wave to come in. This is absolutely going to be an inhibitor going down. Such a tough spot for the Saints to come back from, just getting absolutely picked off. Bad positioning led that fight just down the wrong path there, but excellent capitalizing on that opportunity coming out from high performance, and they're just going to walk away with that inhibitor.
Yeah, definitely a really smart play right there. They knew that after Orianna and Trundle's ultimates were both down in that fight, even though they had lower health totals, they were able to really take that fight away.
Absolutely. So unfortunately, we don't have a replay system set up, but that was a really interesting fight. Just Graves right over the wall could have absolutely been the difference. If one more auto attack made it out of Kasai to pick up that Graves, they would have started that fight in a 4v5, and it would have been a totally different story right now. But another Drake goes down, just adding to those buffs. It's 2 Oceans in favor, so some nice additional healing coming out for High Performance, and they're just going to love these big, extended, drawn-out team fights the way they already do. They're up against the combo comp. They already want to draw out the team fights, and now they just want it even more.
Yeah, and we can just see the gold lead once again growing to the 10K. And most of that gold is centered around this bot lane right here. 2,500 gold already for Draven. And another 1,500 gold for that Alistar. We see that Draven already 2.5 items into his build, with Kasai only an item and a half. So a whole item up onto that Draven. He's just a monster. If they don't have Orianna ultimate saves for him, I'm not sure if there's any other opportunities they have to really take him down.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see kind of a weird position here. You do have Leonix down in the bottom lane, just trying to farm that up. He uses the Banner of Command, though. You can see that big minion on the mini-map there. So that's going to be pushing the bottom wave, really smartly done, leaving him in that bottom lane. He does have teleport online as well, which is what Renekton was down there for. And unfortunately, we've got another tier 2 here, and unable to defend. You've got super minions in the mid lane, super minions in the bottom lane, tier 2 on the way down.
At this point, I don't think there's anything Saints Gaming can do other than look for the mistakes, look for improper rotations, but they need to keep up their ward control. High Performance is going in, and they're constantly clearing out the wards that they're placing down on the road. They're really starting to constrict here, and I think the game's going to be ending in one more deep fight that goes the way of High Performance. I think that Nexus is going to start.
Absolutely. So here we go. It's half health for this tier 2 turret in the top lane. Bigger stun cage going down, and everyone has to back away from that one. Unfortunately, Renekton nowhere to be found. He's got to hold off these super minions so as to not lose Nexus turrets. You can see, though, actually Morgana's mana pool is extremely low right now as well, so she's not going to be able to put up, I think, a full rotation of her abilities, or at least not 2. So that's going to be really tough. Still pushing the bottom wave with that super minion from the banner, and this looks like possibly the last wave.
Yeah, they're definitely coming in for a strong push. Well, you see that the banner minion on the bot lane is about to crash at the same time, so Renekton going there. Turret already at half health. Sun Cage coming out.
Big damage coming out there. Massive kill for Draven picking up the Morgana. The fight continues on. A lot of low characters for High Performance. He's not actually going down. Veigar does go down, but so does the Nexus turret. Renekton getting dropped here by Draven. The chase is on. Alistar coming in there. The Orianna ultimate comes out with just enough damage with that turret hit, but Riven just absolutely slaughtering in the back line there, but goes down to the Nexus turret, or to the platform turret, and Draven flashing forward, going after the Trundle, getting himself a killing spree, and now it is a 2v1 right now for this final turret, and it's only Orianna to hold on. Morgana actually just came back alive, but it's 3 inhibitors down and 2 massive damage dealers on the back foot here. Hamiro going extremely low as well.
And Draven there already taking down the first turret, working on the second turret, and the super minions are coming in right now, doing big damage, and they're going for the final fight. Morgana trying to get the ultimate out, not able to keep the chain up, but being able to take down Graves right there with the 2.
Veigar teleports into this one. A kill goes down. He picks up Orianna. Are they going to be able to finish one? You got to keep in mind there's a ton of super minions on that Nexus right now, and Leonix is just there to distract. He does not want these super minions to be stopped, but in comes Riven. Massive ultimate jumping forward. Not able to get the stuns, but it doesn't matter. Just too much damage, and the super minions destroying that Nexus right now. Hoyen with a double kill. Massive W coming down, and he's going to be sticking around to fire off that last auto attack. GG going in favor of High Performance.
That leaves the record at 2-1 for High Performance, going up in the series. And we're going to be starting our next game very shortly. Bear with us here as we move in to the next game.